Elon Musk, the visionary technologist. His projects shoot for the moon, or literally Mars, across space travel, energy, and of course, transportation. His companies have propelled him to a net worth of almost $20 billion. But how have government policies and taxpayer money boosted his businesses? His major companies have all had significant government support in one form or another. Let's start with Tesla. Tesla has inked north of $2 billion in federal and state subsidies in recent years. For a company that has yet to turn a yearly profit in almost a decade as a public company, the number is significant.
On the Tesla side, which now includes Solar City, obviously some of the biggest deals have been both in Nevada and also in upstate New York and Buffalo.
In Nevada, the state gave Tesla nearly $1.3 billion in tax breaks to build their first gigafactory in 2014. Tesla will be sales tax-free for 20 years, exempt from property tax for 10 years, and will receive millions in other incentives. That is, if they keep up their end of the bargain by investing billions into the facility and employing thousands of people.
I think that any other city or local government that's considering getting into this massive tax subsidy game should take a hard look at Reno and ask if the costs are worth the benefits.
Fulkerson says that Nevada's infrastructure is unable to accommodate Elon Musk's plan for massive expansion.
We want Tesla to succeed. We really want electric cars, and we really want to get off fossil fuels, and we want, this economic region to succeed. But this kind of growth is just not sustainable here.
And that $2 billion number doesn't include the federal electric vehicle tax credit that consumers get. The $7,500 credit has made Tesla's electric cars about $1.5 billion cheaper in aggregate for consumers in the U.S. Some states even have extra incentives on top of that. The federal credit is phasing out for Tesla starting in 2019. To be clear, other companies making electric cars benefit from this as well, and Tesla isn't the only company to get direct government subsidies. Billions of dollars in incentives have been given out in states across the country to attract economic development.
Not a new problem, and we've never had any federal leadership trying to stop the race to the bottom.
Tesla's competitors, GM, Ford, and Chrysler, all received more than $1 billion in subsidies in the state of Michigan, according to a New York Times investigation. Of course, Tesla sells fewer cars and has far fewer employees. Also, federal fuel economy standards have helped Tesla's bottom line. Automakers that sell gas-guzzling cars can buy credits from electric vehicle makers like Tesla to comply with regulations. Tesla said it made more than $830 million in revenue from 2015 to 2017 selling these credits. A Tesla spokesperson told CNBC, "Tesla has succeeded in spite of government subsidies, not because of them. Third-party studies have shown that our biggest competitors, including the oil and gas industry, receive trillions of dollars in subsidies each year. In comparison, Tesla receives virtually nothing, yet still manages to compete with these giants. We would much prefer a level playing field where all companies go to zero incentives." While Tesla is helped by some incentives, other government policies has held the company back. For example, they aren't allowed to set up shop to sell their cars directly to consumers in every state. Of course, government subsidies and tax incentives are not necessarily bad by default. If a government decides to invest in an industry for the good of its citizens, it has the power to do so. Many countries, including the US, have been subsidizing clean energy in the face of climate change. That is the crux of Elon Musk's mission. In fact, on the Tesla website, there is even a constantly updated tracker that displays the total CO2 saved by Tesla vehicles. In 2015, Elon Musk responded directly to an LA Times report saying his company has received almost $5 billion in government support. He called the report misleading and deceptive, and defended taxpayer subsidies.
By adding up everything that's ever happened and including things that will take the next 20 years to happen, and then summing that into a single number and applying it today, it makes it sound as though my company's getting some huge check, which is fundamentally false. And the reason these incentives are put in place is because the voters want a particular thing to happen, and they want it to happen faster than it might otherwise occur. None of them are necessary. They are all helpful.
But government subsidies aren't the only way Tesla has gotten support from the government. Before Tesla went public in 2010, it received a substantial government loan. Elon Musk took advantage of an entirely new government initiative called the Advanced Technology Vehicle Manufacturing Loan Program. Tesla received a $465 million loan and paid it back with interest in 2013, 9 years ahead of schedule. While addressing the American taxpayer, Musk said, "I hope we did you proud." Ford and Nissan also got larger loans with this program, along with Fisker Automotive, which went bankrupt. Musk's solar company also benefits from federal policy supporting solar energy. He helped start Solar City in 2006, and it was bought by Tesla 10 years later. It's now called Tesla Energy.
That nobody with a brain cell would want to put these two together. Solar City desperately needed a bailout.
People who invest in solar energy can get a 30% tax credit on their costs of installation. Tesla Energy also goes after state incentives aggressively. In fact, recently it had to pay back millions to the state of Oregon for overstating the cost of large-scale projects in order to qualify for higher tax credits. Tesla told CNBC it provided the state with accurate information and was entitled to every dollar of tax credits it received. However, it settled for $13 million. And finally, SpaceX.
And liftoff of the Falcon 9.
The rocket company receives very little in the way of government subsidies, instead relying upon government contracts from NASA, the military, and satellite companies. NASA helped SpaceX get off the ground by awarding SpaceX with a key $400 million contract in 2006. Since then, SpaceX has won over $4 billion in additional awards from NASA, launching many critical missions for the U.S. Space Agency. SpaceX has also won over $600 million in military contracts. It has been on the government's list of top federal contractors since 2013. While that may sound like a lot of government money, these contracts are competitive bids against other aerospace companies, like United Launch Alliance and Boeing. Launching with SpaceX often costs taxpayers half as much as the money competitors requested. Elon Musk has repeatedly tweeted thanks to NASA, recently saying SpaceX would not be where it is today without NASA. Basing business off government contracts can be a risky strategy, but former PayPal founder Reid Hoffman thinks Musk has made it work.
I was, the second person Elon pitched SpaceX to, and I was like, oh, you're going to be doing this thing that comes off, national government subsidies and so forth. Oh, this is a disaster. He was right. I was wrong.
So while Tesla is not alone in going after government dollars to support its business, Elon Musk has certainly gotten some help from taxpayers along his rise to stardom.